Hi guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny, and as always, I thank you very much for choosing to spend some time with me. I have once again been booted out of my usual spot by a sleeping dog, so I hope the glare isn't too bad over here. This week we are talking about printing images on fabric with your home printer. This was requested by Rory a couple weeks ago when I very first showed you these. So I just want to say thank you so much to Rory for the suggestion. I really love it when you guys suggest topics for me. So I do have a quick tutorial for you. We'll just do that really fast and then we'll come back and talk some more. Okay, for this you are going to need a few things. You're going to need whatever images you want to use for your printing. You're going to need a sharp rotary cutter and or a sharp pair of scissors. You may or may not need some cellophane tape, and you're going to need some butcher paper. This is the stuff you get at the grocery store. It's really inexpensive. It's easy. You can cut it to whatever size you need. You can also find these pre-cut sheets at art supply stores. I got these at Dharma Trading ages and ages ago. If I can find them there, I will leave a link for you below. But it doesn't matter. Either way, they're the same thing. They're smooth and matte on one side, and they're glossy on this side. The glossy side is the waxy side. That's the side that we need. You are also going to need some plain, smooth fabric. For this, I usually use a piece of thrifted cotton sheet. It's a really good weight. It goes through my printer without any problems. So what you're going to do, it doesn't matter which paper you're using, you want to cut your fabric bigger than you need it to be on the page. So this piece is white on white. Sorry, I hope you can see that. Looks like that. We're going to put the wax side onto the fabric. And it doesn't matter if you press it from this side or from this side. To be honest, I usually do both. I use a hot iron. I do not use steam. It does take a few seconds for it to adhere. Once it has adhered, it will look something like this. And you guys are probably not going to be able to see this white on white, but now that it's on here, we're going to trim these edges, and I'm going to cut right on the edges of my paper. And the reason I don't cut the fabric to the size of the paper is because when you go to the iron, it can stretch out or move a little bit, and then you'll have like funky edges along the sides, and those are harder to trim than to just trim the whole thing all at once. You don't want any little threads or wonky edges, because those are undoubtedly going to get stuck up in your printer. Okay, so once you have this cut off, you're really ready to print. You can put whatever image you want in your printer. Just be sure, on my printer, the print side goes face down when I put it in. So it will go like this and come around with the print. Double check and make sure you're printing on the fabric side of your paper. Additionally, you may want to double check your ink supply, because the more ink you have, the better the color is going to come out. This is one that I did. This is the original, and this is the print. My printer is definitely on low ink, and this is a lot of printing space, so it comes out pretty muted. So just double check your printer for all of that before you put your fabric in there. Okay, if you don't want a solid white background, this one here, I printed on a solid white background, and it's fine because it takes up almost the whole space. If you're doing something smaller and you don't want a solid white background, you want a different color, you can do something like this. Like I just cut this image out and glued it to a piece of colored paper and then printed it out. I would print it out again with fresh ink so it came out more bright. Like I said though, this does take up a lot of ink, so just be prepared for that. Alternatively, you can use something a little funkier. This time, instead of a plain white sheet, I used this black and white speckled sheet, and I printed my image on there. You can see, because the fabric is speckled, that she looks like she's covered in dirt, so maybe not the best option. I did do her again, and this time I stuck her image on this piece of fabric, and I put her in the copier and then used this white muslin in the printer, and you can see how that came out. Now her image is more clear, it doesn't have the speckles on it that this one does, but it's a little faded. Again, that's my printer, and also it's because this fabric is not white, it's a piece of muslin, so it would be more bright if I used a whiter sheet. Just something to keep in mind. You can also do this same thing, print on a different background. This, I used this piece of fabric here on this little image. I just glued to my fabric and printed it out like that. Now obviously that's all wasted space, but she's a good image for some sort of a patch or something. And because this goes in the copy part, not the printing part, it doesn't go through the machine, it just goes on top, you don't have to worry about all these things. You're just going to lay this down, face down, right into your printer and put your paper in. Another thing you could try is this one. I cut this image out. I just fussy cut her, and you can see I cut in here with my X-Acto knife, so I can see the background in here. And I glued her to a piece of this like handmade paper I got from the art supply store, and then I printed her on muslin. So you can see, again, a lot of this fading is really because of the ink in my printer, but it is also because this is that muslin again. So I'm going to print her one more time on white sheet, and we'll see what the difference looks like. Okay, so here is my original image. This is the paper one. This is the first one I printed with low ink and muslin background, and this is the current one. This is fresh ink and white background. Let's take these off so you can see. I should say also, these usually peel off pretty easily, but if they don't, you can put a piece of tape on the front, add a piece of tape on the back, and peel them right apart like that. That's what she looks like, and that's what she looks like. Obviously, that's the way to go. The other thing I should have said, and actually maybe I can do it on here, the reason that you may need scissors is because if you're gonna cut this image out, it's way easier to do that while it's still attached. I'm just gonna make something up here. While it's still attached to the paper, as opposed to cutting it out later. Like that. All right, and you're ready to go. All right, guys, I hope you found that helpful. What did I want to talk about? So, alternative backgrounds, instead of just having white backgrounds or using the ones I talked about in the tutorial, you can also try dip dyeing your fabric, although that will obviously affect the colors in the print. You could also use fabric paint or fabric markers and fill in the background. Either way, I would heat set those. Additionally, when you use something like this, this print it can be pretty clear and vibrant on your original print, but it will also fade more quickly than other prints. So my recommendation is to wash this in cold water and let it lie it flat to dry or hang it to dry, but definitely don't hang it outside in the sun because sunlight will definitely make this fade more quickly. As for the images, you can find images wherever you want, obviously. I generally use books. The book I use for this one is this one here. It's called Illustration Now Fashion. And the designer or the artist that made the images I used, her name is Maria Raymondsdotter. If she has a website, I'll leave a link for that below. You can also, I think I showed one piece in the tutorial that was just clip art that I got from Etsy. I know comping other people's images is definitely a copyright infringement. However, I'm pretty sure if you use it for personal purposes that it's okay. I don't really know, but I think as long as you're not reproducing them like in a quantity that it's okay to do that, especially if you're making it just for one piece for yourself, obviously. Okay. I also use books, and then I usually just go to my printer. I'm really analog, old school. So I just go to my printer, I copy the image that I want, and then I use that. However, most people probably are able to scan an image onto their phone and then print it on the computer that way. And I believe that that's probably a lot easier to adjust the size of. When you do it on a printer, you come up with the image and then you have to go back into the printer and print another image at a percentage more or percentage less. It's time consuming, and it's also a little wasteful in terms of ink. So I do have a scanner on my phone. I just have never really used it, and to be honest with you, until I made this video, I didn't really think about it. But probably next time I will try doing that. So if you have a scanner on your phone, consider like scanning your images instead of just printing them on the printer. So you guys may remember that when I first started talking about these images, I was saying that I wanted to use them with my dyed linens and make a pair of matchy-matchy Sewing Club recess play pants. I did make a muslin of those pants. It's the first time I've made them. I'll show them to you right here. This is the size medium, and the only thing I did was shorten them by about 4 inches. I love these pants. I really love the way they fit, and I love the shape of the leg. I don't think I'm going to use my red linens for this though, because as I looked at them, some of them have really loose weaves and some of them have really tight weaves, and I think on a pant that's not going to be a great combination, because the looser weaves are going to stretch out more easily and there are more pressure points in pants. So I'm going to use those for sure, but I'm going to use them for a top, I think, in a future project. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that Blossom Song of Songs mentioned in last week's video when I was talking about the upcycled dress from Linens. She left a comment that said that there is a Mexican blouse pattern and tutorial at the V&A Museum. It is a free pattern. I have already downloaded it, and it's very, very similar to the dress that I made last week. So I'll leave a link to that for you guys below. The pattern is made by Alice & Company, which is a pattern company I have used before, and I've actually taken a lot of classes with them. I really, really like them, so I have no issues using her pattern whatsoever. I'm sure it'll be great. Okay, you guys, I think that is about it for me this week. Another request, Asaraya, I'm sorry, you'll have to leave me your name and let me know if I'm saying that incorrectly. She requested a couple of weeks ago that I share with you guys my favorite sewing books. So that is what we'll be talking about next week. I'm very excited about that because I have a ton of sewing books and I have a few really favorite ones. Until then, I wish you guys all happy sewing.